about said. There's probably more information on it. And I was going to say this a little bit earlier. That one voice communication where we had good night, if there was a pause in it, like we talked about a little earlier.
It was all right, good night.
Right. The voice people are going to do all the sound spectrum analysis on that blank piece and see if they can hear switches. I mean, it's amazing what the folks can pull off of those voice recorders. So there's a lot of work going on.
If they get them. Les, what do you make of this?
Off the tape.
Oh, off the tape at air traffic control. Right, that they can hear themselves. What do you make of the New York Times reporting on this?
Assuming this is accurate, of course.
Right.
I still go with my theory because they're talking about so many keystrokes, okay? So let's say it's XYZ waypoint. It can be anywhere.
Let me just interrupt you.
Sure.
Forgive me because I like to keep it simple. As a pilot, if you wanted to make a U-turn, would you just turn a wheel, or would you normally, or would you program in something?
Under this situation, I'd be on autopilot, so I'd do exactly that.
Okay, so if you to program it into the little computer pad that sits next to you, that's basically just telling the autopilot what you need to do.
Exactly.
And what he seems to be reporting is only an experienced pilot who understood the 777 could do that.
Sure.
You agree with that?
I agree, but I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay, go ahead.
This could have been a diversion waypoint that they put in because
waypoint is basically destination, latitude, longitude.
Waypoint is a point, is an imaginary point in the sky.
Okay.
Okay, which is on a route, but they may have been putting in a diversion waypoint and trying to go direct to it while they were dealing with a problem.
And so what you're saying is catastrophe strikes, they realize something's wrong, they realize they need to get off of their route, which at the point this happened, I think, is they're over the ocean.
Correct.
So they may have been the pilot saying something's wrong, let's turn back and get back to land.
Exactly.
Les, if you had a catastrophic event occurring, would you not turn the aircraft by using a control wheel rather than taking the time to punch in a waypoint that you may not know by heart?
It depends upon the situation, John. You know, if it's serious enough, yes, I'd grab control of the airplane, but we don't know what they were facing at the time.
And they're also saying, though, that the waypoints that were ultimately punched into this plane were ones that would keep it off of the radar and undetectable by certain monitors. I mean, is that possible? Nefarious waypoints typed in?
Well, if you go with the theory that it was put in prior to departure, then the two of the pilots had to be in collusion because you always, as part of the pre-flight procedure, as John well knows, you go through the entire route and verify every waypoint along it. So if there's a route or a waypoint in there that doesn't look correct, one of those two pilots are going to go, let's delete that.
We're going to talk more about these pilots and what's happening with them as we look at this video tip. And I want to ask you about the security procedure for pilots, because we all know what we have to go through as the passengers. But what about the pilots? How carefully do they get checked before they board the aircraft? All right, with this breaking news that a computer sent this plane, well, perhaps manually programmed, but that this was a deliberate turn, what does it mean for the investigation? And what about that captain and the co-pilot and the people on board? How deeply can their pasts be dug into? Judge Napolitano is here. Plus, we'll take you into the belly of the airplane because that is where the biggest mystery may lie. Who knew how to disable one of the critical tracking systems on this airplane?